Okay. Hello, hello. Merry Christmas. 5 days till Christmas, you guys. I think this is the first time I've actually sat still and sat down for a while. I'm just like, go, 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 go. If you're a parent at this time of year, you're insanely busy. Insanely busy. We'll give it a minute here and see if anybody joins. It is Recap the Week with Conservative Mama, CM, that's me. And it's December 20th. We've got 5 days till Christmas, you guys. It's happening. It's this year has flown by. I sound like an old person, but that's the truth. It's going faster and faster. Hey, what's up? Real Texas on Facebook. Hello, hello. Make sure we got everybody streaming here. I am on Rumble. I don't know if I'm going to stay on Rumble in the new year. I'm going to be making some changes. I might move over to X. Also, just get this. So I don't know. I don't know if I might move over to X. I'm debating it right now. Being that, so I put out a video on this crazy Omnibus Bill thing that, hey, Sarah on YouTube, what's up? Merry Christmas. I have small kids and it's insane. And you have to make it all magical and merry and get it all done in a short amount of time. And it's just, and then there's always that one thing that, like, that Christmas Eve, you're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot. So, and then I've started all these traditions, right? We have a certain meal on Christmas morning that I gotta get all that done still. It's a lot, but we get it done and we smile along the way. I actually should play an old video that I made. I think it was a couple years ago about, it wasn't political at all, but it was about a mom just like trying to make it all wonderful. And then it just, yeah. I mean, the day after Christmas, it's like, I've done that before. I've just done a video of just, you're sleeping on the 26th. It's like, I did it. So, anyways, what was I saying? I was saying that I'm thinking about making some changes. I don't know if I'll continue to stream on Rumble. I might move over to X, but then get this. So I recently joined TikTok. Like, I made a profile years ago. I just sat on it because I was like, the Chinese are spying on it. So I don't know how I feel about that. So I just sat on it for a long time. And then I realized that during COVID, people were able to say pretty much anything they wanted to say. And I was like, okay. And I'm seeing now that you really can say anything. Now I know there's conversation of it could be banned, but get this. So I put a video on there, like 2 days ago. Okay. And I'm growing a little bit. Like, I don't have a huge following over there, but this video got over 200,000 views. Then I put that video on X, okay? And I say what I really want to say on X, and I don't know, maybe people aren't liking what I'm saying. The same video with like 4,000 followers on TikTok, and then same video placed on X with over 100,000 followers, and it's got 56,000 views. Like, what is that? You tell me. Like, maybe you guys are like all algorithm people and you know the ins and outs, but that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to have 56,000 views on something when you've got over 100,000 followers on one platform. You've got 4,000 followers on another platform, and you're getting 200,000 views. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So I'm debating. Maybe I'll just do lives on TikTok. I don't know, and see what happens there. But I want to make some changes in the new year. And this is like officially the last stream of this year, you guys. So let's get into it. Merry Christmas, Michael on Facebook. Hello, Beth on Facebook up in here. And that's the thing. People are like, why do you stream on Facebook? Well, I'm like, I've got a decent following on Facebook, but I am heavily censored there. Like, I know I am. In fact, they've got me capped at a certain amount of followers, 269,000 followers. If I hit 270, suddenly it drops by 100 or drops by 500 if I hit 270. Like, it's the most bizarre thing. And I should just like document it or take screenshots or something, because every single time it almost reaches there, like they'll drop me 1,000. I'll drop down to 268. It's like, okay. And the views on there are not good. And I mean, obviously, you guys. So I have battled through the censorship, that's for sure. And it's kind of exciting when you go on a platform that's just kind of like, I don't know. I would kind of just, it's kind of lawless with TikTok, and suddenly you're not being censored at all. And you get a video that busts out when you're on bigger platforms with bigger followings, and the video does nothing. So I've got to reassess. I have to reassess and figure it out. Okay. That's what I'm trying to say, basically. All of that to say, changes will be made in the new year. Debating whether or not I continue doing a recap or whether I just take one or two topics and dive deep on them. Some people are like, no, we like the recap. We like the recap. Some people are like, no, just do the satire and don't do the recap. Okay. So I'm figuring it out. Okay. So let's get into the Omnibus Bill. This thing has caused so much debate. So it was basically, it started as a continuing resolution that was supposed to take place, and it started as 21 pages. That's what the last continuing resolution was, and that was done in September. So they put a new continuing resolution to the House floor for members of Congress to get it with not the allotted time to read it in. You're supposed to have like 70 something hours to read it in. No, you're supposed to have it like set like at least 3 days or something like that. They put it on the floor, and then they're like, you've got like a few minutes, and then we're voting on this thing, which is just insane. You can't read 1,500 pages. And that's what this new continuing resolution was. So Elon Musk, a lot of people are like, Elon Musk is running everything. Like, he's in charge now, this billionaire. And when nobody talks about like the other billionaires that are behind the scenes, like George Soros, who's sunk billions and billions of dollars into destroying this country and paying off Democrats to do his bidding, and nobody said anything, like the media. But the minute somebody on the right weighs in and says, hey, this isn't cool, oh, billionaires are running the country, like, stop it. What Elon Musk did is he basically said, this is ridiculous. Like, you've got 1,500 pages of just junk, garbage, pork is what they like to call it. And this can't happen. Like, we can't continue to do this. So he puts that out on Twitter, and before you know, or X, and before you know it, everybody is like, oh my gosh, speaking out about it and talking about it, and they're upset about it. I've been talking about omnibus bills for years. I remember getting upset when Trump passed a huge omnibus bill. I remember I was down in, I was following the whole thing, and I was on a spring break in Arizona. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, they better not pass this thing. And it was back in like 2019, maybe, or 2018. I was so mad. I was like, don't you dare pass this thing. It just drives us deeper into debt. This is ridiculous. Don't do it. And they passed it. Okay. So I've never been a fan of the omnibus bills ever. I believe that we should have single issue bills. And basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this quick video. This is what they do. Okay. And Elon Musk called it out, but they jam full. They take something that you want, like something that we should do. Like, let's help the farmers. Like, the farmers need some help. Let's put in some funding for the farmers. And then they package all this other stuff in the bill. They're like, and let's just random things, right? Let's give ourselves raises. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's see if chimps can fly. And it's just jammed full of all sorts of ridiculousness. Nobody reads the bill. Nobody has time to read the bill. And then they're told, okay, vote on it because you got to help the farmers. Like, seriously, if you don't vote on this bill, the farmers are going to be like unable to do anything. And so there's this panic, and we got to get it done because it's a deadline. It's a deadline. We got to do it when they have plenty of time. They have plenty of time. They know the deadline's coming. I don't know what they're doing. We should probably do a video on what they're doing before the deadline approaches, because they're obviously not trying to figure this out or try to solve these problems. And this is both sides of the aisle, you guys. This is Republicans and Democrats, and it drives me crazy because I have children, and my children, hopefully, God willing, will have grandchildren. And I don't believe in passing on massive amounts of debt and going deeper into debt and adding trillions and trillions and trillions to our deficit. I just don't believe in it. I believe that we should balance the budget. I mean, think about this. If you did this in real life, right? If you did this in real life, like I have a limited amount of money to spend each month. Like, and I know if I go over that, I was like, now we're going into debt. Well, what your Congress does, okay, which is just so asinine, is they're like, this is what we need to spend. This is how much money we have. This is what we need to spend. And then we're just going to go, we're going to spend all this other stuff and just go deeper and deeper into debt. Okay. And just to give you guys an idea, because I don't think people really understand when you say $1 trillion. Okay. Let's just talk about what $1 trillion is. Oh my gosh, just this gets me fired up. Okay. So if you paid out $1 per second to settle a $1 million debt, it would take less than 12 days to pay that debt off. If you were to pay off $1 billion with paying $1 per second, it would take you 32 years to pay off that debt. Now, if you're going to pay $1 trillion and you're going to put $1 towards it every single second, it would take you 32,000 years. 32,000 years. And we're just supposed to pretend like that doesn't mean anything. Like, okay, who cares? It matters. It does matter, because at some point, what if the debt collector comes to collect the debt? Like, it's just not, like, you just don't think that's ever going to happen. Oh, America, we're big and bad and we can do whatever we want. We can just spend and spend and spend. What if at some point China, who's just growing massively, says, you know what? We want you to pay. I want you to pay your debt. You guys got to pay us. Well, what does that look like? And people are like, oh, you know, who cares? We'll be dead and gone before that. We'll leave it to the you know, our great grandkids. I care. I believe that in fiscal responsibility, and believe it or not, people are giving me a hard time because I'm like, I'm not going to clap like I said on Twitter, like a dumb, stupid seal that, oh, yay, we might have a deal and it's going to cost us, and we're going to look at another additional $5 trillion in debt. Yay. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to cheer on the debt. I'm not going to cheer on the debt. So what they're saying, and last night they're like, well, now we have a deal on the floor that's 115 pages. So we cut a lot of the stuff out. We cut a lot of the you know, the garbage out. But now we will also add to the deficit. It's another $5 trillion. And I said, I'm not going to cheer for that. Even though if I'm told to as Republican because I support Trump. I didn't support Trump during the Omnibus Bill when he passed it. I'm not going to support that. I'm just not going to do it. So people are hating on me. Great. You're disloyal. Can I talk about loyalty? Okay. I have been supportive of Trump since he came down the escalator. Okay. So all these people that are now suddenly MAGA and suddenly like, oh, yay, cheering him on. I've been on that train since the beginning of the train ride. Okay. And disloyalty has nothing to do with disagreement. Let's just clarify that. I am loyal to my husband. I'm loyal to him. I got my husband's back, man. Like I will go to the ends of the earth for him. I love him. I've got his back, but sometimes I disagree with him. Sometimes he'll say stuff that I'm like, I totally disagree with you on that. We'll argue about it. We'll have debates about it. Does that mean I'm not loyal to him? No. Disagreement and disloyalty are not the same thing. Okay. So as we head into this new presidency with Trump, I want everybody to know I will have moments of disagreement because I'm not a robot. I'm not a programmed zombie that's just supposed to go along with everything. I'm not going to do it. There will be things that I'm like, yeah, I totally agree with you on that. There will be things I disagree. I disagreed on a lot of the way COVID was handled. I did. I 2 weeks to slow the spread. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I disagree with it. I disagree with it. And it's healthy to disagree. It's healthy. Okay. You are an individual. You should have individual thoughts. You should have moments where you disagree with your group of people. You got your group of people, you're jiving, you're loving it. Yeah, yeah. But there will be a moment where someone says something or does something. You're like, I don't know. No. Why? Because you're an individual and you have individual thought, and that should be championed. That's healthy. Okay. The minute you fall into everybody's thinking the same, everyone's doing the same, everybody, yes, don't disagree with the leader, you are in trouble. Like, that's concerning. Healthy people have disagreement. So there will be moments of disagreement. I still don't like what they're doing. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen. There's always the panic. The government's going to shut down. To be honest with you, I don't care if it shuts down. I don't. Essential, our military, essential people will still get funding. So that's not like, oh, everybody's going to die. It's not going to happen. But sometimes you have to do big things to make big changes, right? And so I don't know, maybe they'll come to agreement. Chip Roy is getting a lot of flack, but when you listen to Congressman Chip Roy talk, his concern is, he's like, listen, I'm fine with removing what they want to do. And what Trump wants to do is remove the debt ceiling, right? Let's just remove it. They think it's stupid. What's the point of it? Nobody really abides by it. We're going deeper into debt. It's just kind of like a guardrail, but we're just going over it like it's nothing. So why have it, right? And he's saying, listen, if you guys want to remove the debt ceiling and you want to increase the deficit, you want to add trillions to our deficit, what cuts are going to be made? What cuts are going to be made? I need to know the cuts that we're going to make in order to go along with this. And nobody's saying anything about the cuts that are being made. Now there's this whole new thing that's developed called Doge. And Doge is Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. And these two guys are going to come in and they're going to make cuts, right? We are spending billions of dollars a year in funding empty government buildings. Like, that's stupid. Why are we doing that? That money could be used somewhere else. It could be used to pay off the debt. Why? So the hope is that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy come in there and they start to really make these cuts. But Chip Roy is saying, hey, these guys don't know because I'm in these meetings that you guys don't know about. And these guys don't want any cuts. They're going to fight on every single cut because they're swamped. Even though they're Republicans, they're swamped. So I'm hearing stuff over here while you're hearing stuff over here. And this is a hope. Right? Doge is a hope until we actually start to see it happen. It's a hope. It's a hope that they make cuts. It's a hope that they get rid of the waste. Yes. What Chip Roy is saying, I want to know, I want promises made here, what cuts are going to be made. And I understand that. Like, that makes sense to me. Like, if we're going to cut funding billions, putting billions of dollars toward empty government buildings, put that in the bill. Put it in the bill. Let's hear it. Like, what cuts are being made? I don't think being tough on this stuff is a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. And of course, they're pushing the panic. Oh my gosh. But this is just to give you an idea. And I've seen it for years. I finally just put it into words, what we're really seeing. This is a piece I made at the beginning of the week. And this kind of puts into perspective what your government does every single time we reach a deadline and we need to keep funding everything. So this is what they do.
Gosh, you guys, we have to pass this bill.
No, you don't have to pass it.
We have to do it, and we got to do it now. Like, we have to do it right now. If we don't do it, the world could end. I mean, that might be a little extreme, but we're going to go with it. The world could end if we don't pass this bill.
You do know that we know that you take one possible thing that might, yes, need to be funded. One thing that might, yes, be essential. And you put it in a bill. And then you surround that bill with all sorts of other junk and garbage.
and then you demand that we support you in funding this giant omnibus bill full of junk and garbage, when you could just really take that one essential thing that needs to be funded and pass a clean bill and fund it. But no, you want all the junk and garbage funded too. And we know that you're doing this. Like, we know you're doing this. Do you get that we know? We have to pass this bill. We have to pass it.
Like, I feel like they do think we're stupid, you guys. I'm just being honest with you. They think that you're just a dumb idiot that doesn't know what they're doing, or you don't understand it. I think I understand it. I think that I know if you spend more than you take in, you go into debt. Debt's not a good thing because you're beholden then to some other entity. It's not good. It's just common sense. And I'm a conservative. Clearly, I mean, I'm a conservative, and I also believe in being fiscally conservative. I do. So figure it out. And you know, I understand. You know, there's this hope, and my hope is that the argument is, the whole MAGA argument is, hey, just go with this. We have to keep this stuff going. We have to continue this funding. These are essential things that need to be funded. We limited the bill from 1,500 down to 11500. Just trust us that after we get through this and we keep the government open, we don't cause a shutdown, we get into the inauguration, we get Trump in office, then we can bring Doge in, and then we can make the real cuts that we need to make. Like, that's the MAGA side of it. That's what they're arguing. So they're like, just go with us on this. And I want to go with them on this. I do. Because we've never had Doge. We've never been here before. But I'm a skeptic because that's just how I am. And I have a hard time trusting anybody on what they're promising. I'm like, okay, well, we'll see it when it happens. And, you know, my hope is that it does happen. And if and when it happens, I will be cheering it on. So that's where I'm at on the whole thing. That's it. So, and I'm going to have people hate on me because I'm not a robot. And I'm not like, yes, you're disloyal. You're disloyal. No, I'm not. I'm disagreeing. And disagreement's healthy. So anyways, I don't even care anymore. I don't care. Maybe that's where I need to be, right? Just say what you really want to say. And if people don't like you, they don't like you. And I don't care if either side doesn't like me at this point. I've been in the game too long. I don't know, man. Anyways, okay, another thing that's happened this week besides the whole omnibus, are they gonna keep the government open panic, is the court removes Fanni Willis from Georgia election interference prosecution of Trump. Georgia Appeals Court removed Fulton County District Attorney Fanni Willis from her election interference prosecution against Donald Trump and 14 other defendants, saying her romantic relationship with top deputy disqualifies her entire office, a decision that could doom the case. What I'm hearing is the whole case is going to actually probably be dropped. The court, in a 2-1 decision, said a trial judge erred by allowing Willis to remain on the case so long as her former romantic partner, Nathan Wade, I don't know if you guys follow that, but it was very gripping court television. Nathan and Fanny, the love affair between the two of them. Anyways, that's a side note. An outside lawyer, she hired to lead the trial team. So she got involved with another guy that was helping with the trial, Nathan Wade, and they went on lavish trips together. But that didn't, that didn't sway anybody, which one would argue it did. Anyways, this is the rare case in which disqualification is mandated and no other remedy will suffice to restore public confidence in the integrity of these proceedings, Judge Trenton Brown wrote for the majority. The panel stopped short at throwing out the prosecution entirely. So another one down. I mean, these two guys are dropping like flies. And let's be honest, like if you are you're a lefty, right? You're a lefty, you can't stand Trump. He's horrible because he's a criminal. He's been indicted like on so many charges. And it's got to be weird for that person that's been on that side of the aisle for so long. And they're like, and then they start to see these prosecutions start to drop off. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe they would start to have the thought, maybe these prosecutions were political in nature. Maybe they were just going after their political opponents and using the law to attack. Maybe that's what they were doing. I don't know. I would think that you would draw that conclusion. It's kind of obvious. Oh gosh, we've got friends. So my kids don't have phones, so their friends will call my phone. Sorry. I've got a friend calling in right now. It's not my friend. It's one of my daughter's friends. Anyways, okay. So where was I? That's just being a mom here. So yeah. So you would think that a lefty would draw that conclusion that maybe it has been lawfare. Maybe it has been political law. Maybe they have been going after their political opponents and using the law to do it. As these prosecutions slowly drop, I would hope. Let's see here. Okay, so that was a big one. Liz Cheney, another big one. President Liz Cheney said that Representative Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble based on a Republican-run investigation into the January 6th, 2021 riot at the U.S. Capitol and the January 6th committee. Trump posted on Truth Social on Wednesday that Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble based on the evidence obtained by the subcommittee, which states that numerous federal laws were likely broken by Liz Cheney, and these violations could be investigated by the FBI. The subcommittee findings, first detailed in October, claimed the former vice chairwoman of the January 6th Select Committee improperly communicated with Cassidy Hutchinson, an ex-aide. I actually did a satire on Cassidy Hutchinson. You can find that on YouTube, on her account of what went down. It was the most bizarre. And you should watch the real thing. She gives this testimony about Trump losing in the limo and a limousine and then throwing sandwiches and just enraged. And so I took it and I just ran with it. I made a satire on that. Anyways, so supposedly Cheney communicated with Hutchinson, an ex-aide to the then chief staff of Mark Meadows under the Trump administration. The report recommends the FBI investigate whether Cheney violated federal laws against secret communications with Hutchinson and whether she engaged in procuring another person to commit perjury. So they're saying that she tampered with evidence. And I mean, this is interesting. It's like a 127-page report on her. And I find it interesting that Biden mentioned possibly pardoning Liz Cheney. Like, why would you even need a potential pardon if you didn't do anything wrong, Liz? I've played Liz a few times as well. So that's something that we'll have to watch unfold. I wonder if Liz is a little nervous. I don't know. We'll see. What else is going on here? Oh, this is just a total side note, but not a side note. It's a big breaking story. But remember during the election, right? I live in Colorado. So during the election, Aurora, the city of Aurora, became national news. They were saying there's Venezuelan gangs in these apartment buildings in Aurora, and they're breaking down doors. Well, the media swooped in and they're like, no, this is not happening. Okay, there might be a little, scuffle here and there, but there are no gangs taking over apartment buildings. That's absolutely absurd. We're so safe here. Although our governor, and this is the thing, Governor Polis in Colorado, he poses as this libertarian, right? He's just all about, live and let live. When we have an insane amount of stupid laws going into effect starting on January 1st, you can't even have your phone in your hand if you're in the car. Pretty much. If you're in the driver's seat and you have your phone in your hand in the car, you will get a ticket. There's so many things that are going into effect. This guy is a law, government regulate. And he poses, and I don't know why. He even will go on Fox News, and Fox News is like, Jared Polis, a very great libertarian, not a libertarian, okay? Live under Jared Polis. He shut us down during COVID. People were forced to wear a mask. It was horrible, okay? So he's not a libertarian. Anyways, he gets on and he's like, no, Aurora is safe. There's no gangs, and this is crazy. And they were calling out this one councilwoman who was really giving voice to it. She was speaking up, and they were like, she's crazy. She's a loony. And it turns out that just this last week, they arrested 14 supposedly might be related. They might be. They could be. They don't really tell us. Could be Tren de Aurora or whatever gang members from Venezuela that held people hostage against their will. They arrested 14 of these guys just this last week. And I'm hearing that in Brooklyn, they're arresting Venezuelan gangs. So we're being told by the media that they're not here. That's not happening. When in fact, Venezuelan gang members are being arrested and now prosecuted for criminal activity. When we were told that wasn't happening. I'm just so over that. I mean, come on. Hopefully at some point, my goal is to get that person that's slightly now, because I think we're getting the middle. I think the middle is waking up. I can feel the shift. Now the goal for me is going to be, okay, let's go to the left. Let's move to the left a little bit. I mean, that's what my passion is about, to be honest with you. My desire is to get people that can't see to see it. Like, that's what I've always been about. So goal was always go after the middle. The middle's moved emotionally. We can get them through satire. You can get them through comedy. Let's move them. Now I'm starting to see that shift. We're starting to see that shift. Now let's get the left. Now let's get the people slightly to the left to start to see it. That's the goal, right? To get the pendulum to swing so far. I mean, I want it far. It's been so far left for so long. Let's swing this thing back. So that was another thing. Okay, we got Liz done. We've got Tren de Aurora. I got to learn how to say that. I'm horrible at saying that. Gang knows him. Okay, last but not least. Last but not least, and then I do want to ask you guys really quick before we wrap this up. For the year, which I can't believe it, is your favorite Christmas tradition. So get ready for that because I want to hear them. But before that, we got to talk the drones. Now, just let's stop for a second. The drone stuff has just gone dark, right? They're like, oh yeah, let's talk about the Omnibus Bill now. Let's move on. Let's just not even, that's still happening. It's just suddenly dropped out of the news and nobody's talking about it anymore. But we have no answers. We have no answers. And I'm like, what happened? I want to know what happened. I want to know what these things are. And at the beginning of the week, the drones were still a topic. It was still a thing. And then suddenly they're just don't talk about it anymore. Just shut it down. So I don't know if the media has been instructed. I don't know if both sides of the aisle have been instructed to just stop talking about it. But I'm still I want answers. We've got these unidentified flying objects. Nobody knows who's driving them. Some are supposedly manned. Some aren't. Some are as big as an SUV. And we're not supposed to worry about it, but we could worry about it. And we're not supposed to now talk about it. It's still something that I want to know about. I'm just like that. I'm like, what is it? Biden tried to clarify. Well, first we'll start with how the week began and how they handled it with a satire I put out at the top of the week. Here you go.
Press conference today. Our hope is to provide clarity on the massive drone activity happening right now in New Jersey by answering any questions that you might have. So let's get started. Go ahead. Yes, Congressman Van Drew implied that they could be Iranian. Are they Iranian?
But they could be. They very well could be.
Is there anything that leads you to believe that they are?
Well, Elon Musk did post this picture on X. Do we have it? Yeah, let's pull it up. Yeah, this picture, which could lead one to believe that they are, in fact, Iranian.
Is that a real picture?
I have no idea. I
I don't know. Next question. Yes. Some are saying that it's the Chinese. Is it the Chinese? Do you really think that we would allow the Chinese to just roll up on our shore and just collect all sorts of critical data without us doing something about it? Well, we did allow the Chinese spy balloon to traverse across our entire country, collecting very sensitive information from our military bases before we even attempted to shoot it down. So okay, we're gonna redirect and bring out our drone expert. Clifford is gonna come out here and share with us his extensive knowledge on drones and answer any questions you might have, particularly pertaining to drones. All right, Clifford, come on out. Come on. Yeah, thank you. And it's Cliff, actually. CLI1F. It's just 1F. All right. And as mentioned, I am a drone expert. Okay. I purchased this baby online for like $9.99. All right. Using the promo code 20 off. You're going to want to write this down. It's 20 capital O, capital F, capital F. All right, and these babies can soar. I mean, they can go so high into the sky, they can reach like 10,000 feet. If you wanted to go 10,000 feet, you could go 10,000 feet with this guy. You could also fly this thing right over your neighbor's house. Maybe snap a few photos of your neighbor, possibly maybe suntanning naked on the back deck. You know what I'm saying? You could just fly this thing right over, just like this. You could soar. Okay, all right. Thank you, Cliff. Thank you so much, Cliff. All right, does anybody else have any questions? Yeah, I have another question, but I don't know if I'll get any clarity on it. Is it possible that these drones could be our own government's drones? Well, as Congressman Van Drew did state, if it was our government, they would tell us. Did you just wink? No, I did not just wink. You just winked again. No, I didn't. You did it again. I am so confused right now.
Seriously, so confused. Like that's how it was. That's how it started at the beginning of the week. But then it got even stranger. Here's Trump when he was at his recent press conference this week.
Comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports. It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
We
Want to
should
know the
be
truth?
down.
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been
Like, isn't that weird? Okay, so he says it's strange. And I'm like, it is strange. And so I'm wondering, maybe he was briefed on something, but it is bizarre and it's strange, right? And this is where I would disagree, because Biden did allow the Chinese spy balloon to come from Canada all the way across the United States. Do you guys remember that? It was like a couple years ago, or like a year and a half ago. Comes across the United States, begins to exit on the East Coast, and then they shot it down. Okay, so I don't believe that if it was our enemy, we would shoot it down, especially maybe if Trump were president. Yes, if he was already president right now, we would have shot them down if they were enemy at all. But I don't think that Biden would shoot them down if they were enemy, because he didn't shoot down the Chinese spy balloon, and they knew it was a Chinese spy balloon as it went across our entire country, collecting very sensitive data from our military bases. So then you get Biden in here to clarify it. This is what he said. I think it was just maybe Wednesday. Here you go.
All those drones over New Jersey. What's behind all of that?
Nothing nefarious, apparently, but they're checking it all out. I think it's just one. There's a lot of drones authorized up there. I think one started and they all got it. Everybody wanted to get in the deal.
Like, nothing nefarious is what he says. And the most confusing language. Well, let's just capture what he said, because I tried to capture it on a post I made. I'm like, don't worry, you guys. Don't you worry. Biden came in, and this is in case you didn't get the words that he said. This is what he said. He said, don't worry. Okay, this is what he said. Nothing nefarious, apparently. I think one started and they all got, everybody wanted to get in their deal. So we should now, and that was it. That's all he said. So nothing nefarious, apparently. I think one started and they all got, everybody wanted to get in their deal. Like that. I'm sorry. Now I'm even more confused. I'm back to the satire I made at the beginning of the week, not knowing anything and being extremely confused by all of it. So I don't know. We'll see if anything develops on that. I think we're going into like total Christmas time, and so there will be no conversation about it. But I'm curious to find if we ever find out what they are and who's flying them and who's behind it. And so I'm still interested. I know that the media stopped talking about it, but I want answers. I want answers. One more thing that did happen, and it was kind of a bombshell. The Wall Street Journal put out an article this week talking about, and the title of it was How the White House Functioned with a Diminished Biden in Charge. So, and then it goes on to say, aides kept meetings short and controlled access. Top advisors acted as go-betweens, and public interactions became more scripted. The administration denied Biden had declined, but they all knew that he had declined. And the Wall Street Journal, they go on to talk about how Democrat leaders noticed there was a leadership vacuum. 2 Democrat leaders in the House of Representatives went on record to make note of Biden's inaccessibility. They talked about how the Biden White House was more insulated than most. They spoke with Barack Obama multiple times on a number of occasions when he was president, and they weren't able to have any kind of access to Biden. There was also the concerns actually of Biden's decline stretched back to the first few months of his presidency, while many members of the Biden world continued to deny that Biden had declined at all. Spokesman Andrew Bates commented on the story by rejecting the notion that Biden has declined. The Journal claims that the staff recognized his limitations early on, a sign that the bruising presidential schedule needed to be adjusted for Biden's advanced age. And it goes on to say that basically they knew that Biden was not well at the beginning of his presidency, like age declining, infrequent and tightly scripted meetings with cabinet members. So he was kind of like, everything was written down on like what he was supposed to say, never went off just like freelance like you see Trump do all the time. Biden struggled through prep for the Robert Hur interview before Biden's catastrophic performance in his debate with Trump. Special counsel Robert Hur's report raised eyebrows over Biden's ability to continue to serve. Remember when Robert Hur was doing an investigation, special counsel, I think on, what was he was diving into, I think, like the documents, whether Biden taking documents was legit compared to Trump taking documents. Remember that? And Robert Hur, the special counsel guy, said, I'm not going to prosecute Biden because he was like an elderly man in decline. Like, I mean, and so everybody knew, and we were talking about it. You guys remember this? Like, we were talking. I played Biden multiple times. Like, I played him, like him talking and then just completely like having a complete gap. Like, it was clearly obvious he was not up for the job, right? Would call a cap on the day like halfway through the day. Like, he's just done with it. And then they're like, well, let's run him again. Like that's what's insane to me. And that you got to put a lot of the blame on the Bidens themselves and Jill Biden. I don't know why you would ever do that to your husband when you can noticeably see the decline. And then you're telling him he's got to run for another term and the media covering it up. I remember a lot of the mainstream media saying like, oh, these, him falling up the stairs or him tripping. Those are all deep fake videos. They're not real. They were real. Like, he was obviously and clearly in decline. And now the Wall Street Journal is out with it with people on record. If you want to read the article, talks about his massive decline. So here's the thing. It's like, at first they're so quick to be like, no, that didn't happen. Or no, that's not true. No, there's no Venezuelan gangs. No, Biden's fine. It's quick to shut you down. Without like what I desire that we go back to as a nation is like true journalism, like true people that are like, wait a minute, maybe there's some truth to this. Maybe let's like investigate it. Why didn't CBS News or ABC or NBC send a journalist that was willing to go on the record to come to Aurora to really do a deep dive on whether there were Venezuelan gangs or whether there are Venezuelan gangs in these apartment buildings? Let's find out. But they don't. And so my desire is we get a whole new media. We have people and maybe and there are like tons of independent bloggers out there and vloggers and people that are really doing the deep dives, but we need a whole new, and I think that this last election really did it for a lot of people. I think if you were going into the election and you're like, yeah, Harris is our person. Notice that they never did anything negative on Harris. Nothing ever negative was written. There was no research done on the woman at all. Like at all. Don't you, even if you're going to vote for her, don't you want to know that her skeleton's in the closet? Like because everybody has them. Like, and if something is presented to you so perfectly and there's no negative, then you're not getting the true story. You're just not. There's no one that's perfect. So if you are thinking that your candidate or your guy is absolutely flawless, you're not getting true reporting on your candidate. You're just not. You're not. You got it. There's going to be dirt. There's going to be a dirt. And what I'm hoping is that we somehow have a return to like true investigative journalism. Because the Biden decline was so apparently obvious. And my frustration is I have so many people that I know. Okay. That's why I'm able to play the left, because I know the left. I know a lot of people on the left. They sit down at night and they watch the nightly news. They watch ABC News. Like that's the news. That's it. And they 60 minutes, whatever 60 minutes. We got to get those people, right? Like that's my next target. So we got to get those people. We got to get those people to come out of it, right? Come out of it. Wake up. We're getting in the middle. Now let's go to the left. So anyways. Oh, hey Pat, Merry Christmas from Texas. I love it. Is it nice and warm there in Texas? What's the weather like in Texas right now? Huh? All right, you guys, what's going on? All right, I want to know your favorite Christmas tradition really quick as we wrap this up. I can't believe it. We're coming up on the end of a year, you guys. And what a year. It has been a challenging year. I think election years, there's always like tension, I know, between family and friends, and it's just And then we got to win. We got Trump coming back in January. I feel like the pendulum is swinging in the right direction. And my hope is that more and more people begin to wake up and demand the truth, right? Like there is an ultimate truth. There is an ultimate truth, and that people return to just finding and wanting the truth and desiring the truth and being done with being gaslit. And I think we really did see that in this last election. And I'm excited. I'm excited for 2025 and what it holds. Chilly in Florida, Erica, really? Oh, 68. Get out of here. Get right out of here. 68 is like it's sun tanning weather here in Colorado. It's 68 degrees in Colorado. You are in shorts and a t-shirt. Okay. 19 in Omaha. No, that's cold. And it's humid in Omaha. It's humid. I know that we'll be out in Omaha this summer. A big baseball. There are lots of baseball in Omaha. What's the weather like in your neck of the woods? Let me know. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up, you guys. I'm going to give a good sayonara. I'm going to go hang out with my family, spend some time with them. My kids got out of school half day yesterday, and it's just, you know, those last minute things for Christmas. And then after Christmas, it's kind of like this huge, like, okay, and you just chill. And I love it. I mean, I've loved Christmas break. I mean, everybody loves Christmas break, but I mean, it was always I loved it as a child, but I even love it. I love it as a mom. It's like that moment where you're like, we're not doing anything. We're going to eat Christmas cookies and stay in our pajamas all day and watch Christmas movies. That's what we're doing. That's the plan. Oh, Catherine, what's up? Balmy 57 in Monument. Yes, true. Colorado. You get near you get in the 50s. I mean, it's like it starts to get hot. And I think it's because it's so dry. It's a dry, arid climate here. Cold, very snowy. Yeah, Michigan is snowy and cold. Love Michigan though, you guys. Oh my gosh, I go there every summer. Love Michigan. It's such a beautiful state. It really is. But it is cold in the winter. You go up North Michigan and you talk to those people there in the summer and they're like getting ready for winter. They're like, the winter is coming. Winter is coming. And it's true. It's like winter is coming and they like prep for it. Northern Michigan. So, because it's cold, it's humid. Oh, well, cool. Well, my favorite Christmas tradition, I think one of my favorite things is Christmas Eve. I love Christmas Eve and I love going to church on Christmas Eve because at that point that point for me, everything is like now quiet, right? Like everything is slowed down. The gifts are wrapped. Everything's prepped. And there's this moment where you just take a deep breath and you pause and you're like, okay, it's Christmas Eve. It's like magical in the air. And there's that moment and when you're sitting in Christmas Eve service where you just really reflect on the whole point of Christmas, right? And it's recognizing and acknowledging and celebrating the Christ's birth, right? God coming to earth in human form as a baby to save the world. And it's just it's so powerful. It really is so powerful that the humility in that, I never get over it. Like God becoming flesh, right? The word becomes flesh and dwells among us. And the humility of being the omnipotent, right? The creator, the Alpha, the Omega, the one who was and is to come, humbling so much it's his self to come as a baby, an innocent baby, helpless to the world because he loves this world so much. And that's just that moment for me where it's just like, like every Christmas Eve it happens. I'm like, wow, like what a gift, greatest gift ever given. Right. So let's see here. 38 degrees in Idaho. It's kind of drier in Idaho, isn't it? It's a little bit drier, a drier climate. It's not as humid, so it's not freezing, I would say, not freezing. Yes, the real meaning of Christmas. Yes, Jacqueline, it is the real meaning of Christmas. And so I'm thankful for it. I love it. Christmas and Easter for me are just the best. I mean, honestly, the best. The week between Christmas and New Year's is that for me. All the work is done. Yes, you can just rest. Yes, totally, Mindy. I love it. I love it. Yes, Big Island today. Ooh, Hawaii. Look at you. Very warm on the coast, highs in the 80s. I live in the low 70s. Jesus is the gift. Amen, Sky Miles. Love it. I've never been to Hawaii. I would like to go someday. I've only heard it's just breathtaking. They're like, it's just so pretty. I'm like, is it really? I'll have to at some point make it out there. Swim. I'm not swim. No. I'll have to swim out there sometime. No, I'll have to take a plane and fly there and then swim. That's what I would do. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would like to see it. I really would. Oh my gosh. You can tell that I'm that mom right now that's just like going. I'm not at the complete rest point yet. It's just go. What else is going on? All right, you guys. I'm thankful for you. A shout out to my supporters. I actually now have which is pretty exciting. I now set up subscribers on Instagram. So if you spend a lot of your time on Instagram, I'm now just putting out special posts over there. I'm also, I have subscribers. I haven't done YouTube yet. I should do YouTube. I need to set that up. But also, where else did I get subscribers? Oh, X. I got subscribers on X now too. So that also helps to get people to support me on different platforms. Some people spend more time on certain platforms, I found. Like some people are just on X. And so they're not going to venture over other places. Some people are just on Instagram. They love the Instagram, the beautiful pictures. So that's where they spend their time. So I'm trying to now set up like different subscriptions on those different sites to generate some kind of monetary value in order for me to keep doing this. So if you if you're kind of float all over, I have Patreon, which or Patreon. Why am I? This happens like at the end of every live. Like my throat gets all. I need like my hot tea. I'm not drinking hot tea. I'm drinking coffee. I'm not, and I did coffee last time and this happened. So I'm gonna have to do tea next time. Patreon is also a great place because they're kind of a floater, and I appreciate the support. I really do. So if you want me to keep doing the satire, if you want me to keep going, please consider giving. That would be awesome. We hope you and your family have. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. Same to you guys. A blessed Christmas, a happy New Year, a blessed New Year, good things, and we'll be covering it all. Like that's my intention, is to cover it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and try to incorporate the humor here and there when I can. So. All right. That's it. Signing off for the year. God bless you all. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for the shares, the likes, the comments, all of it. Such a blessing. And go spend some time with your family and just reflect on what this season is all about. All right, you guys. Talk soon.